So I want to talk a little. The Clippers are complaining, not the Clippers per se, but their fans are complaining, about the out of bounds call, and it wasn't called. And my takeaway is I'd rather officials not go to replay on that. But if you do, and a crew decides to, well, then you have to get it right. And you might as well go with what the camera says, not what we think it should be. But I wasn't bothered by the fact that the officiating crew didn't go to the replay on that, because in the NFL and baseball, we know that different crews have different styles. Some NFL crews call holding constantly. Some call pass interference more often. Some baseball umpires have a bigger strike zone. Why can't the Game 4 crew, why can't they just decide, guys, we're not going to go to replay on that call? We're just going to give it to the offense. Is that wrong?
Well, let me start here by saying, for the Clippers and their fans, when you are the best free throw shooting team in NBA history, and then you go ahead and shoot 66% from the foul line, 65% in that game, blame yourselves. And you lose a 4-point game at home. Blame yourself, so don't blame the officials. However, Colin, I hear what you're saying, and you're right. Obviously, they're different crews. But what made it so egregious to many people is just that, a couple games before, the same exact play had happened and it went the other way. I hate blaming officials. I'll go out of my way not to blame the officials if I can. But I did look at that and say, man, it just seems unfair, because it was the same exact play as the ball off Devin Booker's hands in game 2. And then the Chris Paul phantom foul, right? Where they assumed he was going to get fouled at the end of the game. Chris travels and falls down, but he's never touched by the two Clippers that trapped him. So there were a couple calls that made me go, wow, I hate to see that. But you know what I tell myself? Hey, the phantom foul on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar by Bill Laimbeer. Hey, Michael Jordan's push-off at the end of the great shot in Utah. It happens, so let's move on.
Yeah. Milwaukee, Atlanta. I said earlier, Milwaukee gives me more guarantees and answers every night. Atlanta, I got a lot of questions. They're so dependent on Trae Young, and I don't even feel like Milwaukee's dependent on Giannis. Last night it was Middleton. We know Milwaukee's the better team here, right? Like that can be stated this morning. That's right. A better team, right?
Absolutely. Look, Atlanta, and I love what Trae Young is doing. I think he looks like a future superstar. But I also get this Miami in the bubble vibe, right? Like, would you be surprised if next year they're the 7th seed?
No.
I mean, it's just a strange year, right? I'm not going to necessarily say, oh, they're right there with Philly, Milwaukee, and Brooklyn next year. They're in that class. I'm not going there unless they win this series. But Milwaukee's the better team. And obviously with Trae Young hampered with the ankle injury, that further puts it in their favor. Chris Middleton, when he gets hot and he gets going, he is very tough. Now, he's not a perennial all-star type player, and that's why you see the inconsistencies. He was bad in games 1 and 2. 6 for 23 in game 1 at home. But when he gets hot, he is great for the Bucks, and we know he is their go-to guy. You can pencil Giannis in for 34 and 14. But the go-to guy at the end of games is Chris Middleton. And I think in a year like this where there's no juggernaut left, that could be enough.
Yeah. So let's get to we have the Olympics this year. And we know with the Redeem team, LeBron played with Bosh and Wade. Then they became teammates. 2016, KD, Kyrie, and DeAndre Jordan played together. They became teammates. Dame, for the first time ever, is unhappy and going to the Olympics. It just screams opportunity to kind of connect with somebody. What would be your guess today? Because, I do think after 9 years, he's going to have a lot of guys in his ear say, dude, it's Portland. It's one and done. You got to move. And I listen, we're all capable of being persuaded. That's not a weakness. We're all capable of that. I think he's going to move. Is there a team or two where it works for you?
Yeah, there are a few teams where it works, and I believe he's taking these next 4 weeks to kind of ponder his whole situation and think about what he wants to do. He'll listen to guys. He obviously is his own man. I don't think he's fully embraced the super team situation yet. Like, I don't know that he really wants to go and be a part of a super team. I think he still wants to be kind of the man or have other guys join him. And that's why one team to look for, just keep an eye on, I'm not saying it's definitely happening, but just to keep an eye on is the New York Knicks. Because they've got the cap room where they could bring in Dame. Obviously, they got young players. They got draft picks. They could try to trade for him. And then they have cap room where they could bring in another star or two, depending on what they did with Julius Randle. So that's a situation to just keep an eye on. But if I'm Dame Lillard myself, Colin, I'm looking at Philadelphia. And I'm saying that's where I want to go. I want to go play with Joel Embiid. I think they would be phenomenal. Obviously, Ben Simmons is the guy, and Tyrese Maxey that has to go back from Philly, maybe a few draft picks. But that's where I'd be looking if I'm Dame. I think Boston's interesting, and Jason Tatum will be on that team, USA with him.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown would have to be the part going back, and I love Jaylen. But, Boston's played this game of we're young, we're not giving up anything for years now, right?
Right.
And it's not worked out. Go ahead and try to get it done now. So I think that's something to watch for as well. Some people have thrown out Golden State. Would Golden State try to have Steph, Clay, and Dame? Now, that would be interesting. And let me throw this at you, Colin. I think this is what Dame is going through. He has nothing but respect for Steph Curry.
Right.
But I guarantee you, he believes in his heart of hearts, he's as good as Steph Curry. And now he's realizing, I got to win to get my full respect.
Right.
Steph is going to go down as the second greatest point guard ever. Where's Dame right now? As we all would probably say, he's right there with Steph or close. Is he in the top 10? I mean, do we view him that way?
I do, yeah.
So he understands he has to go somewhere to win and finally get in those conversations of maybe a top 5, top 10 point guard of all time. So I think a lot of players go through that when they don't win and they realize I'm not getting the respect I feel like the ultimate respect, and I'm not going to get it until I can at least get to the finals and play for the championship.
Let me throw one more team at you. The Miami Heat. So Portland would rather get Dame East. They're tired of Tyler Hero. They've got a good piece in Bam. Jimmy Butler, Dame. You could put that up against anybody in the East. And then I'm Portland. Okay, I need a bench. I got to get better defensively. I want Bam. Miami's tired of Tyler Hero. They may have some other Kendrick Nunn.
Duncan Robinson, So, I mean, you throw whatever you had to. I would want to keep Bam and then have a big three of Jimmy Butler, Dame.
Yeah,
and
of course
Bam.
you would. Yeah, I get you would want to keep.
It's a possibility. Yeah. Draft picks. I mean, obviously it's a top-notch organization. Eric Spoelstra's a great coach. Pat Riley's there. It's something to keep an eye on. And again, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Dame says, look, I'll give a year under Chauncey Billups. Let's see what he brings in. He's a highly respected guy around the league. Chauncey is. So let's see what he does. I'll give him one more year and then start to make a move. Whatever he does, I think he'll go quietly to the front office, try to be professional with them and work together. If that doesn't work, it's hard to see him going James Harden, but in the future, maybe it will have to come to that for him to get out of there. We'll see.
Good stuff, Chris Broussard. Good seeing you, bud. Appreciate it. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.